and welcome to the channel and to this project of a Nissan Pathfinder. In this episode I'm gonna go over all the things that I've done so far. Even though it's been several weeks since I bought it and since I brought it inside the garage, it doesn't look like much, just that it is up on the off the ground and there is no wheels. But I promise you, I was doing a lot of work for the past few weeks, and I will show you what I've done and what's about to be done to it. So stay tuned, get your popcorn ready, and let's get this show on the road. I'll show you everything that I did and the things that I still have to do. Alright, so from the inside, I did not do much on the inside except do some minor cleaning. This is not the end result. I did disassemble everything in there. I cleaned it out. It still smells a little bit. That's why I bought, and I'm gonna try this smoke eliminator, like a air freshener bump. We'll see. This worked a little bit, but I still can get a hint of the bad smell. Yeah, and the rest is still kind of a mess. So we'll have to take care of that at a later time once the car is off the ground. On the back seats, are actually folded, and I have plenty of parts in here, and it gives you right away. It gives you a hint of the grille. I'm not sure if you will like it, but I wasn't sure if I'm gonna like it, but I do like it. I painted this grille into a black color, and I was trying to remove chrome, but it was no luck. So I scuffed it up and painted over it, even though I know it's not the best thing to paint over chrome, but I did. Here are some parts that I still haven't used on this car, which I will get to in a moment. Alright, so this is what the suspension looks like after I remove the wheels and the fender lining. That's what I want to say. As you can see, everything in here is really crispy and rusted. So this is what the whole frame looks like. It's not too bad. It has some rust. I cleaned up on this side and painted over it, so I would need to do that to the rest of it. I replaced an O2 sensor right there. That's kind of easy to get to it. You just need to get the wheel off and the fender liner. On this side, I replaced this. This is a what is it? The compressor? Not the compressor. The clutch. The fan clutch, which is not actually a clutch. It's just a thing that holds the fan, and it spins with the speed of the engine, which I did not expect that's gonna be happening, but it does happen. That's why I replaced it. And I actually used some hardware from a Porsche Boxster because those few bolts were too rusted, and they came, because it's a stud actually. So they came off, and I replaced it with a bolt. So not a big deal. And here I replaced these bushings because they were solid, hard, but now as I replaced it, this thing does not budge. I hope it will be fixed when it's all going to be connected and the car is going to be on the ground. In the bumper, I put some headlights from my van because I'm getting to sell that guy, and I figured I'm gonna reuse the bulbs because this guy needs some good bulbs. I changed oil and I painted the calipers. Other than that, on this corner, that is all. On the back one, I haven't touched this one as well. I have removed the other suspension, so what you can see right now is what I'm gonna be installing back there, and this is gonna be removed, and I will film step by step how this is done. So it's learning on that side and showing you on this side. I did clean up the rust on this, and I already painted it with rust reformer and fender liner. Not the fender liner, the truck bed coating. But I think I did a great job, so I need to spray some more. And I already ordered this plastic, which normally is called fender liner. That's why I couldn't find it. Turns out it's a fuel filler protection thing. So that's the only way I was able to find it. So it's on the way. It's supposed to be here in a few days. And you might see there is no spare tire. I have removed it, I cleaned it, and I primarily removed it so I can have more space working on that. So let me get to the back and I'll show you exactly what I did from the back. Right. So you can see right here that subframe is cleaned up and painted, so it now looks much nicer. I did replace the handle here and the struts. Now the thing holds up on its own. It's really strong though. And you can see it has new hardware that I replaced, so that at least something is done. And then from on this side, this is the corner. I spent several weeks disassembling the bolts, because these bolts were so rusted that I couldn't use, or actually whatever I had in storage to disassemble the bolts, that did not work. And the only way I could do it is by getting a Sawzall and some metal blades. That's the only way I could remove it, by cutting the bolts. And this the suspension that will go in this place. I have the springs in that box, white box right there, that will go in, and I have some surprise for that as well, which we'll get to it when we get to the video of how to fix the suspension, how to replace the suspension actually. Here's the front and a sneak peek of what it's going to be looking like. So, brand new upper control arms, brand new lower control arms, brand new struts, and another sneak peek of what's coming. One mistake that I did make was not undoing this nut before doing everything else. I'm pretty sure it's going to be a pain for me right now, or maybe the best case scenario would be right now to just cut this bolt off and replace this whole thing. And it also requires a special tool, which I already have. I have also, I think I showed you already that I replaced this bushing, and I greased it up a little bit, so now it looks much nicer. I also painted this area and cleaned up from rust much better than the other one, so that looks better. And again, whoops. Up in the engine bay, I've cleaned up this part where the battery sits, and I have the tray coming in a few days as well. I've cleaned up this thing, I forgot what it's called. Everything is rusted. Again, I have another bolt. This is from a Porsche, because the bolt that was here originally broke. I had to drill it out. I did the oil change, I did the new filter, which I did in the first video actually, and I have the headlights still need to be cleaned. Maybe I'll replace them, maybe I won't, because I'm trying to kind of save money. And if you might notice, the bottom section of the bumper is black, and the reason for that is that there's quite a few holes in here, and I was not gonna fix it, and it's not that easy to fix it since it's all messed up in several areas. So it is better if it's all black, then it's not gonna be as visible. So I just painted this section in black, and it doesn't look too bad. I did paint in there and replaced this bracket. You can see this bracket was previously bent, and I got a new one. I would have to figure out how the whole thing works and make this whole thing work better. And that is all from the front. Oh, I did clean up this area and I did remove the clips. This is the original clip. Actually just the one that left. The other ones I had to replace and it was a pain. So if you're gonna ever remove this thing, don't do it. It will make your life easier. And this is kind of it. I still have to replace the brake fluid, the power steering fluid. These are the things that I'm going to be filming how to do, because I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people who do have to flush the brakes. And the brakes on the back, or not the brakes, the suspension on the back looks like no one have ever replaced anything on this car, since the bolts that I needed to order were not that easy. When I went to the dealership, they said they actually quoted me for the bolts that I needed over $400 for the bolts. That's the most expensive quote for the bolts that I've ever received. Because I did replace the alignment bolt on the other side, this alignment bolt and that one, and they're actually in different size, like this one. And I ordered them. I have no idea when they're gonna come, but those were the most expensive alignment bolts I've ever bought. The set of 4 bolts is $150 with shipping. That is way more than I ever had to pay for bolts, but that's crazy. Anyway, it was not easy to find none of the suspension. Most of these Nissans, they have leaf spring, and the leaf springs are more common on the Xterra, Armada and Frontier, and this is the only model that has the independent suspension, and I guess it makes it much more difficult to locate all the bolts, since no one knows. Whenever I searched for alignment bolts for Nissan Pathfinder, it only showed me the bolts for the front suspension, not for the rear. And for the rear, it only showed me some things for the leaf spring suspension, like when you have a solid axle. Nothing about this, which was a bit weird for me. Well, luckily I was able to find everything that I was looking for, but it took me a while. Some things I spent hours on searching, some other things I spent days on searching. Yeah, I think I just ate the bug. Here I have the wheels. I already have new tires, which I'm gonna reveal when the time comes to mount them. I also going to be painting these wheels, so the color and how the paint job will turn out, I'm gonna be also revealing once the wheels are already mounted, and I'm gonna replace these sensors. They are required to be programmed, so I've done that. I actually had to buy a tool to do that. So if you want to know how that's done, let me know. I'll do a video and I'll show you what kind of tool I use. So you might have noticed that this is all a learning progress for me as much as it is for you, and I want to deliver you some good information on how to fix things, how easy it is to get parts, because it's not easy, even though, well, especially right now during the COVID thing. So I hope you enjoy, and I hope you'll be curious enough to stay in for further videos. I cannot promise that they are going to be perfect. I am not the best guy on editing. I don't like editing, but I do like to make these kind of videos. I do like to record my progress. And I do like to learn a bit to get the next video better than the one before, but sometimes it doesn't work that way. In any case, I will make next videos on the suspension side. I will do a part piece by piece on the front suspension and the rear suspension, and which will include brakes. And the back ones, I would have to replace the shoes on the brakes as well. So if you're enjoying this video, if you want to see this vehicle be used as an off-road vehicle after it's done, which I love to do whenever I do a a project, I like to use it for the purpose that I built it for. And I do want to build this to be an overlanding vehicle. So I'll see you later. Until now, have a wonderful day. Goodbye.